Okay, hi everyone. So this is the Lightspeed free webinar, an in-depth look at the Lightspeed Trader platform. Before we get started, we have a basic disclaimer that we need to go through. This presentation is for informational purposes only. Nothing presented today should be construed as investment advice or a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any security or contract. Since we don't know everyone's investment objectives or risk tolerance, we are not endorsing any specific trading strategies. Security derivative and futures trading involves a substantial risk of loss is not suitable for all investors. Each investor must consider whether this is a suitable investment, since you may lose all or more than your initial investment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Lightspeed is a division of Lime Brokerage LLC. Lime Brokerage LLC is not affiliated with any third-party market commentators, educators, or service providers. Data, information, and material is provided for informational and educational purposes only. This content neither is nor should be construed as an offer, solicitation, or recommendation to buy, sell any securities or contracts. Any investment decisions made by the user through the use of such content is solely based on the user's independent analysis, taking into consideration your financial circumstances, investment objectives, and risk tolerance. Lime Brokerage LLC does not endorse, offer, nor recommend any of the services or commentary provided by any market commentators, educators, or service providers. Any information used to execute any trading strategies are solely based on the independent analysis of the user. Well, now that that is done, we will get started. I see someone posted a question. Apparently they can't hear me, so I'm just going to reply to that quickly. All right. So let me move on here. So one of the first things that I wanted to do was just go through some of the information on the Lightspeed website. So I just pulled up lightspeed.com, and some of the information that we have on the website is extremely useful to traders, especially new traders. Just wanted to go through some of that. So if you go to lightspeed.com, you go to resources and then Lightspeed Trader. This page here has a lot of information. It has latest version release notes, installation guide, has the installation files if you want to download and install the platform for a PC or for a Mac. Also, we have Lightspeed manual, shows you how to use many of the features of the Lightspeed trading platform. FAQs, we have a quick reference guide, available indices, a list of symbols for indices, guide for charts, and so forth. A lot of order entry documentation. A lot of this is very useful information. Also under resources, we have live webinars, so you can click on that and you can see the recorded webinars. This webinar will be recorded and posted. So this is the webinar we're in now, but below we have previously recorded webinars, and this webinar will post there. For new clients, just really quickly, we provide two different commission structures per share. It starts at 0.0045 per share with $1 minimum, or if you prefer per trade for stocks, starts at $4.50 per trade, goes down to $2.50 per trade. Same with per share. The more volume you do, your rate will go down. Options contracts starts at 60 cents per contract, goes down to 20 cents. Futures has a similar rate structure. A lot of people ask about trading account requirements. This page here under brokerage services has account minimums. Our account minimum for Lightspeed Trader is 25,000. Our minimum for the Lightspeed Web Trader is 10,000. Routing. One of the things that Lightspeed is known for is having numerous different order routes available. So if you go to pricing and then Lightspeed routing fees, you can see all the different order routes that we have available, from our LSPT Smart Route to ARCA, BATS, NASDAQ, NYSE, and so forth. All right, so this next image is the Lightspeed Trader platform. This is a demo account that I'm logged into right here. So one of the basic or the main things that traders need to do when they first start with us is set up their page or their layout. This is a very basic layout that I have set up. Once you have everything set up, you go to layout and then save layout as, and you can save your layout to your computer. And you could save multiple different layouts to your computer. So if you click save layout as, what I do is I save it to my desktop, and then I have multiple different layouts set up so that I can load them as I need them. So this is one layout. I'm going to open a different one here really quick just to show you. So we're going to go to load save layout. We'll just click on basic. We'll open that one. And then this is just a really basic laptop type layout. At the top we have buttons. Click for options trading. This is a preset options layout. We've got complex options, order entry, the options chain, level 2, chart, and so forth. I'm just going to open the other layout really quick. So I'm going to go through fixed material and then stop periodically to answer questions. So if you do type in a question, I will get to it, but you know, I'm going to go through the content that we have to get through. I see some basic questions here. How can you get 4 different tickers? I'm not sure what you mean by ticker, but to open a new window in Lightspeed Trader, you go to New, and then you choose which window you want to open. You want a new level 2 screen. You click on that, you type in a new symbol, and you get a level 2, level 1, and a waterfall ticker on the right. And that's the same thing with any window. You go to New. If you want a new chart, you click on Chart, and it opens a brand new chart. Someone asks, how do you hide the top banner for Lightspeed with the logo? I really don't suggest doing that, because that is the main window for the platform. That's where all of your navigation is here. The only way to hide it would be, you know, really to cover it with another window. You can put, you know, this positions window, for example, over it. Someone asked, what's the difference between laptop mode and normal mode? The system just defaults to two pages, your normal mode or your laptop mode. It's just different layouts, really. So some of the basic functions that most traders have questions about is linking windows. So if you notice, I have 4 level 2 screens, 4 order entries, and 4 charts. So I have it set up if you know, I type in a new symbol here in this level 2 screen, I have it set so it links to one chart and one order entry. And same thing with the other windows. If I go to this other one down here, I type in GM, it changes those three. So to link windows together, what you do is you link everything back to the level 2 screen. So the level 2 screen is really the driver for what symbol you're looking at. So you would right click on this gray bar on top of any window, a chart, an order entry screen, and so forth. You go to link, and then you choose the quote window or level 2 screen that you want it linked to. So right now I'm linked to Apple here, so I would choose Apple. Same thing on the order entry. You right click on it on the gray bar there, you go to link, and you choose what you want it linked to. Now if I want to open a new chart, for example, I go to new chart, and I have this new chart. We'll just cover these windows here for now. If I want it linked, we'll say to this level 2, the Intel INTC quote window, I right click on the bar, I go to link, and I choose the INTC quote window, and now this chart is linked to this group. So if I type in a new symbol, it links the new chart to that group. I see someone has a question. In the montage and the waterfall ticker, is there a way to add the time to it? Every window is set so that if you right click on the window, you can always go to the settings for the window. So on this level 2, you would go to settings here. On the chart, you right click, you go to chart parameters, studies, display. Every single window you can right click on and choose settings or parameters or whatnot. On the windows, you can also click on this little gear. This little gear is the settings for that particular window. So I don't think time can be added to the waterfall time and sales. Someone has another very good question. They want to link the watch list to a level 2. If you right click on it, so if you see this level 2, it has the yellow highlight around the outside. That is the active window. That's the focus window. So if I click on forward here, all of a sudden that one's highlighted in yellow. So that's the focus. So now if I double click on my watch list on a symbol, it loads that window. If I want, say we want to add symbols here. So what I did was right click and then went to show input. This right here says hide input. So we say hide input, there's no input field. If I right click, go to show input, then I can type in symbols, for example, and add, right? So now I've added these symbols in the watch list. If I click on this level 2, it highlights in yellow, that's the focus window. And if I double click on any one of these symbols in the watch list, it loads that section. Another very basic feature is studies and customizing your chart. So here we have Apple. You right click, go to studies. This is where you would add studies. Simple moving average, exponential moving average, stochastic RSI, MACD, Bollinger Bands, and so forth. So you'd click on whichever study you want to add, like simple moving average. Bars will, defaults to a 20, so we'll add You have the color right here. We'll just leave it as that light green there. We hit add, okay, and now I added a 20 period moving average to my chart. Someone asked, sometimes all the windows disappear and I only the header is left. How do I get all the windows back? I've never seen that happen, but you can always go to layout and load save layout, and it'll load your saved layout. So charts, the 4 charts I have up are 1 minute charts. You can right click on the chart, you go to chart parameters, and here you can change the time frame for your chart. So if I want a 5 minute chart, I click on 5 minute and click OK. So now I got a 5 minute chart. You also have tabs at the bottom of your chart, so you can change the time frame for your chart just by clicking on the tab. So this is a 5 minute chart. If I click on 90 day, it moves to a 90-day chart, 60 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute. And again, you can go to chart parameters and you can add the buttons to the bottom. So if we put in 2 minute here, we click add, okay, now I have a 2 minute chart. Does anyone have questions about some of the basic features, layouts of the platform? All right, someone has a good question here. In the upper right-hand corner of your level 2, if you notice there's an E and a percentage. The E, or the letter, it's not always going to be an E, stands for, is a symbol that represents whether the stock is easy to borrow or not. So the E is easy to borrow. A T would be threshold, meaning that it is not shortable. An L would mean locate. Locate means that it's possible that we can locate shares for you to short. You would have to contact us, or you could sign up. We have a third-party stock locate program called Velocity. You could sign up for Velocity, and then you could locate stock directly on your trading platform. A separate window comes up. You would enter in the symbol that you want. Here, let's see if I have it here. Let's see. Here we go, short request. So here is the short request window. You would type in the symbol that you want. We'll just say forward quantity, I want 500, and then you click locate. This is a demo. It says not eligible, but in a live account, what'll happen is it'll come back with whether the request was approved or not. It'll tell you how much the cost is, and it's going to have an accept or reject button. So if you want to accept the locate and the fee, you hit accept. If not, reject, and you're not charged. So that's shorting. The percentage here is the margin requirement. Any stock with a 25% requirement there, that's a regularly margin stock. You get 4-to-1 leverage for day trading, 2-to-1 for overnight. Other stocks, risky stocks, or leveraged ETF type stocks will have a higher requirement. Sometimes it might say 50%, 80%, 100%. That tells you, what the margin requirement is. One of the other letters that will pop up in the upper right-hand corner of the level 2 is CB. CB stands for circuit breaker. So if a stock hits a certain percentage loss or gain threshold set by the exchanges, there's going to be a circuit breaker and a pause in trading. All right. So, any other basic questions about features on the platform? So, the next topic is going to be order entry, hotkeys, hot buttons. But are there any other questions about basic features? Charts level 2, what any of the windows mean, or anything like that? So, there's a lot of questions coming through. It's really going to be uh, impossible to answer all of the questions. So, if you need help, you can always email me. My email is jely at lightspeed.com. Actually, with the new one, I shouldn't give you Lightspeed. Lightspeed still works, but it's Lime Brokerage, jely at limebrokerage.com. That's LIME brokerage. One question that came through, a few people that asked the same question. They want to know if there's a way to see the time of a circuit breaker halt or when it's going to resume trading. Um, there's no way to see that on the trading platform, but if you go to the website NASDAQtrader.com, it's NASDAQ trader.com. And then if you go to their search function on their website and go to halt or halts, you should be able to find information as to when the halts or the circuit breaker hit. And if you look up the details of the circuit breakers, they're halted for a specific time frame. I believe it's 5 minutes, but you'd have to look up the information to determine how long it's halted for. A few people asked the same question. How do you sign up for the short locator? What you would do is just email service at lightspeed.com, service at lightspeed.com. And another question, people missed how to add this input field on the watch list. You right click and you go to show input. So right click, show input, and then you have this input field. Even without it though, if you just click on the window, you should be able to add new symbols. Here's another question that's very useful for a lot of people. So people set up a chart exactly the way they want it. They add the studies, they have the time frame set exactly the way they want it. Now they want to duplicate that chart multiple times because it takes a lot of time to set up a chart exactly the way that they want it. If you right click on a chart, you can go to clone window. Let's see, maybe it's on there we go. It's right click on the bar at the top and you go to clone. I hit clone, it duplicates that chart exactly. And you can clone, the chart as many times as you need it. One of the other things that's some people like is you can adjust the color of in the font of every single window on this platform. I have layouts set up. For example, if you don't like black, I set up a white layout. So I'm gonna just open up my white layout. It's gonna be bright in a second here. Let's see. Um, it gives it a completely different look. Some people prefer white. Um, the way I have this one set up, the background in my level 2 screen is gray, but the highlighted one is white. So if I click on Tesla, the background goes to white. Apple, the background goes to white. I've also focused in on trying to build really clean candlesticks on this layout, where I outlined the candlesticks and changed the outline to black, so it kind of gives it a nice crisp look. Lightspeed is completely customizable. You can move these windows around, change the colors, change the fonts. You can change the information that you see in the level 1 section here. It's very, very customizable. I'm going to go back to the black layout though. All right, there we go. A few people have asked, we are recording this webinar, so it will be posted on our website, maybe not tomorrow, but probably the following day. And we'll also probably send out an email pointing out the fact that the webinar has been recorded and posted to our website. But if you check the webinars page, you'll find it. All right, so basic order entry. The order entry window right here really comes pre-canned. It has all of the fields and information that you need. Obviously the symbols there, the order type, you have limit, market, stop limit, and so forth. Those are really the 4 main order types that most people use. Some of these other order types are used rarely. Super Smart is for traders that are trading really large size, where the system will route the order to multiple different destinations to try to get it filled. LOO is limit on open, limit on close, market on open, market on close. Some people do use those order types because it's part of their trading strategy, but for the most part, the vast majority of traders use limit, market, stop, and stop limit. Shares, you click on the arrows, you move the volume up and down, you change the price. If you click on a price on a level 2 screen, it will load that price in the price window on your order entry. So if I click here, 201.90, changes the price to my 201.90. Market, that is the order route that you want to use. We have all the different routes available, everything from NYSE, NASDAQ, all the way to some of the dark pools and other exchange type routes. Setting up hotkeys. Lightspeed Trader is well known for having very easy to use hotkeys and fast order entry. And I would say a very large percentage of our clients do use hotkeys. So to set up a basic hotkey, you would click on any settings gear here, click on that. We go to custom orders. And I've found that custom orders is the easiest way for me to set up hotkeys to do exactly what I want. So we click on custom orders, go to create new command. And this window is very, very simple, but it might take you 1 or 2 tries to get it set up exactly the way that you want it. So the first thing to do is to name your hotkey. I'm going to call it buy at ask. That's going to be my hotkey. The side here, obviously buy. Market. This is where we type in the destination. So we could type in ARCA, for example, for NYSE ARCA, and it'll go to that route. LSPT is our smart router. It goes out to the market and tries to fill the order, wherever it can. I'm going to leave it on limit. Display, visible or hidden, I always leave it on visible. Through, I'm going to leave that on 0 for now, but we'll talk about that later. And we're going to choose ask. So we have buy LSPT at the ask. Order size with position to close. So I'm going to say close out. So if I have 1,000 shares of Ford, and I hit this hotkey, it's going to automatically set the volume to my 1,000 shares and close out my full position. You can also select half position or quarter position without position to close. So if I do not have a position, what do I want it to do? I'm going to choose quantity, and I'm going to put, I don't know, we'll just say 500. Pop-up confirm. I'm going to say no for right now, but later on I'm going to go and change that to yes and show you how that works. If you change it to yes, a confirm will pop up, and then you can use your keyboard to adjust the trade. If you want to adjust the price, the size, the order route, and whatnot, that's where this pop-up confirm comes into play. The time and force here, just leave it on day and 8. Don't change that. So we're going to go to map key now, buy at ask. So that's highlighted. Obviously, you want the one that you just set up highlighted in blue. And then on the left side, you're going to choose the hotkey that you want it linked to. So the S, the C, and the A, that stands for Shift, Control, and Alt. So, and then it goes through numbers and then letters, 0 through 9, and then letters. I'm going to go down to B. So we're going to say buy at ask is going to be Shift B. You click on the SV, so that's Shift B, and click map, and then OK. So now when I click Shift B, I click on my level 2 screen, which indicates what stock I'm going to trade. So I'm going to hit Shift B, and it sends the order immediately. So if you look in my positions, it immediately gave me a fill. I bought 500 Ford at $9.93. That was the buy at ask. This is the ask price, $9.93, so we got the fill. My orders window shows the quantity entered, the quantity filled. If you scroll to the right, it shows more information. This is a demo, obviously, so executions go through immediately on a demo. It doesn't really represent the real market conditions, but the demo gives you the ability to test out the features of the platform. All right, so now we have a position of 500 Ford, just down ticked. My open P&L, I'm down $5. Okay, so now we're going to create a sell hotkey. All right, so we're going to go to custom orders, create new command. The side we're going to go sell. We're going to say sell we'll say bid -2. All right, market, we'll just put LSPT. I'll leave it at limit, visible. So we're going to leave it at bid, but here I want it to sell at the bid -2 cents. So we're going to put in this through field 0.02. And you have to think of this as through. So whatever number you put in here, it's going to go through the bid. So if you look at Apple here, the bid is 201.52. Through the bid is going to be 2 cents lower than that, so 201.50. If I put in a negative number here, and we're still on the bid, it's going to actually add 2 cents to the bid. So here, Apple's 201.55. It's going to add 2 cents because it's doing this negative sign really means opposite of what through means. So through would go below, but if you add a negative, it goes above. So that would be 201.57. So for now, we're just going to leave it at through the bid of 2 cents. With position to close, we're just going to choose closeout. We're going to close out my full position. Without position to close, we'll just say quantity, I don't know, we'll just say 200. We're going to go to map key now, sell bid -2. We'll just leave that at shift 0 and click map. Okay, so now I click on Ford and I hit shift 0. And it immediately sends the order and closes out my position. So if you look, I don't know if you guys can read that. So the two prices here is what I was filled at and what the order was sent at. So the order was sent at $9.89. That's 2 cents below the bid. All right, I have one more thing I want to cover quickly on hotkeys, and then I'll try to go through and answer some of the questions. There have been very many questions, and I'll try to get to the questions that multiple people have asked. So we go back to custom orders. We're going to create a new command. We'll just say buy. We'll just put ARCA. We'll just call this one buy at bid. So the through, we're going to leave at 0. We're going to leave this at bid. So we're going to post an order to buy at the bid. Closeout, we're going to do full position, quantity. I don't know, we'll just say 100 this time. So this time I'm going to choose pop-up confirm. We're going to say yes. I'm going to map the key now. Buy at bid. We'll just call that one control 1. Click OK. So now buy 100 shares at the bid is control 1. So we'll just do Apple this time. I click on the Apple level 2 and do control 1. No, it didn't work. Let me find out why. Let's see. Buy at bid. Let's see. Buy ARCA bid. Full position. Oh, I didn't map it. So buy at bid, if you see here, control 1, I forgot to hit the map button, so we hit map. So now it's mapped. Control 1, we hit OK. All right, so on Apple, we hit control 1. Now I chose the pop-up. And this little, I don't know if you guys can see it, this little window popped up. It says bid 100 Apple, 201.58, 100 on ARCA. So the Lightspeed Trader platform is really cool in that it's set up where if you use the arrow keys, it changes the price. So I'm using the right arrow key to change the price up and the left arrow key to change the price down. The up and down arrow key changes the order route. If you notice, the order route is changing between NASDAQ, NYSE, ARCA, and NYSE. If you use the right and left caret keys, it changes the volume. So I'm hitting the right caret key. If you notice, the volume is going up. Left caret key, the volume is going down. Now, if I hit enter, it's going to send that order. If I hit escape, the order just gets deleted. Now, you can set these parameters up in the order pop-up. So here, you click on the order pop-up tab. So your right and left keys, you're going to change the price by a penny. If you do shift left and right, you can choose to have it change by a different amount, like a nickel. Control left and right, you can set it up to change price by 10 cents. I mean, if you're trading larger stocks, you might want to change your price by 10 cents. Shares, same thing. You know, the right and left arrow key, right and left caret keys is 100. Shift, you change that to 300. Control 500, whatever it may be that you want. So you can really customize your order by using a hotkey and then the order entry pop-up. A lot of traders use that because they find it quicker to hit the keys on the keyboard and adjust their trades based on that. So that's the basics for hotkeys. Now, hot buttons. Just really quickly, we're just going to cover those. Hot buttons. I don't know if you just saw that. You go to New Hot Buttons, and this Hot Buttons window pops up. You right-click on it, you go to Add Orders, and then here are the hot keys, the custom hotkeys that I selected. So if I click on Buy at Ask, I hit Add buy at bid, add, sell at bid minus 2 cents, add, and click OK. Now I have hot buttons set up. Now these hot buttons really just send the hotkey. So instead of hitting, whatever it was, Control B or Shift B on my keyboard, I'd use a mouse and click on this to send the order. And you can customize all of these buttons, so you can change the color. If we want to change the buy at bid, I don't know, we want it to be lime green. We click OK. Sell at bid minus 2. We want that to be pink. And then buy at ask, we want that to be dark green. It changes the colors. You can change the font. You can customize it completely so that it looks exactly the way you want. I've seen people set up, many hotkeys, and then set them all so that they're linked to hot buttons, and then have, on the right-hand side, they might have, 20 different hot buttons, and every description says exactly what they want to do, and they trade using those buttons and a mouse. So there's many different ways to enter orders, and there's no one way that's better than the other. It's really what you're comfortable with and what you find works for you. There's a lot of questions here. I'm going to try to get through a bunch of them really quick. And then we'll move on to the Lightscan scanner. So I'm just going to scroll back here. Let's see. All right. So one question I see is how would you set up a stop, a hotkey for a stop? And that's a very popular question. A lot of people do ask that. So I'll show you how to set up a hotkey for a stop. Well, first of all, if you want to send just a regular stop order on the order entry, it's here. You just choose stop. You enter in your stop price. When the stock hits that price, it sends a market order to execute the order. If you choose stop limit, there's two prices. You have your stop price and your limit price. So the stop price is the trigger, and then the limit is the limit order that gets sent to the exchange. So just to have that clear. Now to set up a stop hotkey, you would go to Custom Orders, create new command. We're going to call this sell stop. We choose the side sell. For market, this is where you enter stop. Now, if I didn't tell you that, or you didn't read it in the manual, it would be very difficult to figure that out. But basically, instead of typing in an order route, you would type in stop for your market. Limit. All right. So through. So we want to do a sell stop through the bid. So we'll say we want a 20-cent stop. So we'll put in 0.20. So it's going to put a 20-cent stop below the bid. Closeout, we'll just say full position. Quantity without position to close, we'll just say, I don't know, 200. Pop-up confirm, we're going to say no. Go to map key now. Sell stop, we'll just call that Control 2. Map, OK. Click on forward. I'm going to hit Control 2. And here is my stop. I don't know if you can read that, but it says the order is out there at $9.72. And if I scroll to the right here, the side is SSL. So that's a sell stop. Sell stop. And that's really it. It's very, very simple. But like I said, if you don't have the basics down, it can be a little difficult. But if you learn it, once you learn it, it's very easy to use. Oh, and here's a cool feature. I didn't go through this, but if you notice, I have it set up so that my orders show up as a line on my chart. So I have this chart of Ford here. Let's go to 5 minute. Well, either way, it has the order on my chart as this line. Now, if I click on this line, I can drag it and drop it here at say 976, and that changes the price of my stop. So if you look here in my orders window, the 972 is now changed to 976, and that's a pretty cool feature on the platform. Let me see what other questions we have that are very, very common. We're running out of time here. We have 100 questions in only 15 minutes here. More people asking if it's being recorded. Yes, it is being recorded and will be posted to the website. Someone asks, the time in force for trading after hours and pre-market. What's the difference between day, market day, and so forth? So let's see. So time in force. Let me make sure I have this right. So day is the entire day. Market day is it's going to expire at 4 o'clock Eastern when the market closes. GTC is good till cancel, and then there's different time frames that you can have an order stay live. Someone asks a basic question that new people might also have. How do you decide where you want, where the windows go? You click on the header, the gray bar at the top, and you can move them and drop these windows anywhere that you want them. It's just like any Windows based software. Another question that someone asked: how do you set an order or a stop based off of your average price of your position? For example, if I'm trading Ford and I bought it at 3 different prices today, I bought it at 950, 970, and 990, and I want to place a stop order that's 20 cents below my average cost. Right now, that feature is not available. It will only go, an offset based on the bid and ask. But the next version of Lightspeed Trader that is coming out soon, I would expect that within the next few months, will have the ability for you to enter orders based off of your average price. So you can set up a hotkey. For example, if you want to place an order to sell Ford at your cost basis plus 15 cents, you think you're going to scalp 15 cents, you can set up a hotkey that will automatically calculate what that price is. So if you buy it at $9.91, and then you hit a second hotkey, you want to sell it at your cost basis plus 15 cents, it'll automatically calculate that for you and send the order at that price. And that's not out right now, but it will be out soon. A person asks, how about shorting? Like, how do you set up a hotkey for shorting? Really, it's just selling a position that you don't have. So I'll set up a quick hotkey for selling something short. So we go to create new command, sell, market. We'll just put NASDAQ this time. Limit. We're going to sell short at the bid. Closeout quantity, I don't know, we'll do 600 shares this time, right? So map hotkey, we'll say, oops, I didn't give it a name, so it just showed up as custom, so we'll just leave it at that. But shift 3, we're gonna map it. Okay, so put in a new symbol here, QQQ. hit, what was it, Shift 3. And now if you look, I'm short 600 shares of the Qs. Setting up a hotkey for shorting is just really a sell order. And if it's available to short, it'll go through immediately. Person asks a very common question. Can you enter the dollar amount of a trade, or do you have to enter the quantity? You do have to enter a quantity. You have to decide how many shares you want to trade. Another common question: what is the primary market? So in some of the settings in the platform have a market or primary market. Primary market means the exchange that the stock is listed on. So if you're trading a Nasdaq stock and it's listed on Nasdaq, and you choose a setting that says primary market, it's going to price your order or send your order to the primary market, which would be Nasdaq in that situation. Someone's asking about portfolio margin. Portfolio margin is for high net worth individuals. They can get a larger leverage of 6-to-1, but you have to qualify for it typically, and the account minimum for that is 175,000. A few people have asked about bracket orders. The system does not have bracket orders. Someone asks, when can you trade pre and post market? What are the time limits? So you can start trading on the Lightspeed Trader platform at 4 a.m. Eastern time, and you can trade all the way up until 8 p.m. Eastern time. And if anyone has questions that I wasn't able to answer, you can email me. I will get back to you. Email is jely@limebrokerage.com. Some people are asking, why can't I'm trying to trade pre-market, the system's not letting me, why not? You have to choose an order route that accepts orders pre and post market. Our LSPT smart router does not accept pre and post market orders. You have to route it directly to an exchange. Some of the dark pools that we have access to do not trade pre and post market. You do have to choose an exchange route like NASDAQ, ARCA, BATS, or EDGE. People are asking about demos. So the platform itself, once you're live trading, there is no demo mode, but you can sign up for a 14-day delayed demo on our website. That's a good tool that people use to test things out. You can also email me and ask me for a real-time demo. I can give you a real-time demo for 1 week. Can also renew that for a second week if you need it. All right, so we only have a few minutes left here. One of the last things I wanted to go through quickly, and I'll cover a couple of things, but the main thing that I wanted to cover was Lightscan. So Lightscan is a stock scanning tool built into Lightspeed. It's not something that comes standard on the platform, but if you want the scanner, you can have it added. So you would go to New, Lightscan, and well, it looks like there's some activity now, but basically this is a very raw scanner. It puts up stock symbols that meet certain criteria that you set up. So you right click, you go to change filter, and here's where you would set the filters that you want. You know, stocks with highs, lows, new highs, new lows, imbalances, and then you could add filters where you can filter symbols, volume, price range, net change, and things like that. And again, it's very raw, but people that have specific things that they're looking for can narrow it down so that this scanner produces the stocks that meet the criteria that they're looking for at any given time. And then you would, like you want to exclude volume. You could set up, you don't want to see volume of I don't know, we'll say one share and 250,000. You only want to see things larger than that. So you type that in, you hit add, and then it adds it to the filter. And then once you have it filtered the way that you want, you can sort by any one of these columns. So you can add and remove columns. You go here, change columns. So all of these different data fields are available. Click on level 1, and then you want to say percent volume change. Hit add. Click OK, and then percent volume change pops up, and then you can sort by the percent volume change. That's just one example of how to use the scanner. So these are stocks that have huge percent volume change, and there's a lot of different columns available so that you can sort by any virtually anything that you want. Some of the other cool features, TipRanks is built in. It gives you analysis, daily ratings, highest rated stocks by analysts. So, I just changed it to Apple, and these are the analysts, what firm they work for, what their rank is, what their position is, their price target, and so forth. So that's some, maybe not something that's going to make you buy or sell something, but it is a good piece of information to have. Some of the other features available, there's a risers and fallers scanner. So these are stocks that have gone up or down at a large percentage on the day. A lot of these tools are really good for trading ideas. Block trades. Some people make a living off of block trades, so you can set up a filter that's going to show you every single block trade in the U.S. market based on shares and price. So you could say you want to see every single block trade that's 10,000 shares or more for any stock that's $25 or more. You click OK, and then every single block trade that goes off in the market will pop up in this window. We went through the short request. We didn't go through options. Didn't really have time, but we have a complex options order entry window. This is where you can choose your different strategies. You want to write a long straddle, short spread, or whatever it might be, butterfly, so forth. This is where you would do it. It is available. What was the other one I wanted to show? Oh, just straight order imbalances. Some people use this as a trading tool as well. If you have a big buy or sell order imbalance and you're watching a stock and it makes a certain pattern that you found suggests it's going up or down, this is a good way to find those trading opportunities. You can set up alerts on the platform. If you have a specific alert that you want, you say Apple, as soon as Apple hits 202, I want to have a sound and a message pop up. You can type in the message, type in a message, you can see a displayed alert as well as hear an alert. That really covered everything that I wanted to cover. I know there were a lot more questions that I really couldn't get to. And like I said, if you do email me, I will get back to you. Depends on how many questions I get, but I will get back to you within the next day or so. And I really hope that you found some useful information during this session. Um, the Lightspeed Trader platform is extremely powerful. There are a lot of different things that you can do with the platform. Um, you can have it set up so that it's extremely advanced and does a lot of high-end things, or you can set it up as a very basic trading platform. You got your quotes, charts, order entry, and enter orders. Um, so it's really customizable, and we have traders of all different types. From regular individual trading to make a little bit more money, as well as professional traders that trade for hedge funds use this platform. Um, Again, I hope you did learn something tonight, and just want to thank you very much for participating, and hope to talk to you soon. Thank you. Have a good night.